Hello, this is Sun Yang
and Wolf Stevens
in the Sun and Wolf Show. This week we'll be structuring our material into a few groups. The first one is anime and/or manga of the week.
Okay, so in this category we're going to talk about three mangas, or two animes and one manga. Dead Man Wonderland, Silver Spoon, and Free Iwatobi Swim Club.
Okay, first off, we have Dead Man Wonderland. We have watched the anime, but it's not as interesting or good in a sense as the manga, which explains the whole story rather than 12 episodes of cliffhanger after cliffhanger.
Well, we're hoping later that they'll have another season of the anime.
Which we doubt.
I don't know. But what it basically talks about is these people who are put into prison, and some of them actually have a special ability to manipulate their own blood.
They are referred to as dead men because their power comes from a worm, I think, that was found after a great earthquake in Tokyo that totally destroyed mainland Tokyo, and most of the city went underwater, and in its place came this very disturbing, I'd refer to it as an abusement park, where criminals are deported to, and they are treated like stuff, cattle, basically.
Yeah, and each dead man has a nickname.
That's based on a bird or an avian species.
Yes.
From hummingbird to woodpecker. Mockingbird, crow, stuff like that. So, the story revolves around a boy named Ganta, who he went through the whole earthquake thing, but he has now grown up and is in high school. And during one day during high school, he and his friends are just studying normally in their classroom, and suddenly he sees this red man, as he would put it, and the red man is a person who was floating in the air. He's in a 2-story building, and he's on the 2nd story, and he sees this floating man in this masculine red armor and with a smirk, but he can't identify them. And then the red man enters the room and kills everyone. Murders everyone except for Ganta, which the red man puts a diamond, I think.
Implanted red.
Put a diamond or a red stone.
I think a red crystal.
That has the powers for a dead man. And so Ganta is... And then he passes out. Ganta passes out. When he awakes, he's in handcuffs in a hospital bed, and he is convicted of murdering everyone, massacring them. And so his lawyer gets him put into Dead Man Wonderland because, his lawyer, apparently, is the curator of Dead Man Wonderland. And so he was basically framed, and now he's in prison. And criminals just die there. Innocent people just die there too, and people pay to watch them die. And so he goes through these trials, and then he meets a few people, who include a girl who is albino, and her name's Shiro. Guess why? And then he meets a few more people, and then eventually he meets the dead man, the red man again. And this time he uses his power, which he discovered through almost dying from a accident in in the amusement park. And then he gets thrown into Sector G, where the dead men are housed in who have to fight in a cage arena. And his first enemy is Crow, a former officer who has the ability to manipulate blood and make them into blades. He fights and fights, and Ganta has this. His power is the Ganta gun, or how Crow would say. And he basically shoots his blood, and he almost dies from anemia. But then he tricks Crow and shoots one of the objects in the cage arena. And the arena is huge. It's a giant bird cage. And he distracts Crow by shooting one of the ornaments on top of the cage that falls. And then he shoots Crow point blank in the chest with the Ganta gun. And so Crow gets knocked out and loses, and Ganta, yeah. So skip ahead. A bunch of people die, and he discovers. Spoiler alert! I should have said that before. Spoiler alert! A lot of people die. A lot of cool people die, and a lot of bad people die. And then he figures out that Shiro was a friend of his, who was a substitute for him for the experiments that people ran, his mother ran. And so Shiro turns out to have a split personality, but then in actuality she actually has one personality, and that's Shiro. And then it's revealed later that she herself was the Red Man, or as the story is known, is the Wretched Egg. And yeah, and she wanted to bring Ganta to Dead Man Wonderland to kill her, because she wanted to get killed by a person she loved. And so, in the very end, they do all this crazy stuff. The old curator of Dead Man Wonderland is crazy mother. And he goes, he manipulates people, he kills people, and then he dies. And then Ganta and Shiro face off in the wake and rubble of Dead Man Wonderland. And they both destroy each other's crystals, and they lose their powers. Everyone who survived got to live, and yeah, Crow survived, a bunch of other people survived, but a lot of people died. Shiro ends up in a coma. Ganta gets cleared of his charges and goes back to school. And yeah, they live happily ever after. And then in the very last pages, she wakes up. It's a wonderful story, I'd like to say. But it kind of made me frustrated when good people died.
Should we go to the next one?
Well, what's your opinion of the story? I loved it.
I loved it as well. Some parts where the action was, they were pretty cool. Seeing their abilities being used. and I don't know, just
Well,
so many.
that one guy, that made me sad when he died. That the Stitch Neck, Mr. What's his name? Let's see here. He's part of the something chain, right?
I do not remember.
Scar chain. Oh, Nagi or Owl died, and that made me sad. He died so epically. He was like, "I'm a crazy mofo. I'm a hero. And I'm gonna die like a hero, and I'm gonna bring you down, Mr. Undertaker." Yeah, but it was interesting when there were forges. That was interesting. But Azumi dying, that made me really sad. She was cool. She died in the most bold way. But that's fine. As long as she existed. Okay, then now we'll move on to Silver Spoon with Wolf speaking.
Silver Spoon. It's a really good slice of life. So it's about this student named Yugo Hachiken. I don't know. He's a city boy. During his middle school years, he always studied, got A's, like perfect student, and he doesn't know what his dream is. So he goes into a high school, an agricultural high school.
They have that? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it was a university or something.
And so he just, I don't know, it just makes you think about animals more, and farming, and how important it is, and the effect that it has on people, I guess. I don't really know how to explain this.
It gives you more of a view, a perspective on agriculture as its true value rather than, oh, my food comes from the farm, and it connects you rather than disconnects you from your food source. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and although I haven't read or watched it, I've heard it from Wolf that it's really good, and I honestly, it's a very unique topic in my opinion. City boy goes to farming school.
Yeah.
Farming school. That's I've heard of city boys going to farms, but not farming schools. That is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You learn a few things about farm life and stuff, right?
Yeah, and
And it's a comedy too, right?
mm-hmm. It's amusing.
Yeah, and it's very interesting in my opinion. I'll have to check it out after I finish Kale.
So,
Yeah, check it out if you can. Check it out. We have no idea what the manga is like, but it's made by a great artist. The artist, and written by the person who created FMA, Full Metal Alchemist. Both of them, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's bound to be good. So, yeah, and it's totally different from the violence and grittiness of FMA. It's totally different. But definitely check it out. I'll check it. Okay.
So yeah, the next one we're going to talk about is Free, Iwatobi Swim Club.
Yeah, Free. I like Free, honestly. It's great animations. Swimming. Not many people do swimming. Not that. I mean, like, in the anime world, not much swimming goes around swimmingly. There's always, like, the beach episode, but beyond that, there's usually nothing, like, as in-depth as this. But it's still still generalized for the public to understand. It's a story that revolves around 4 boys: Haruka, Makoto, Nagisa, and Rin, who are all childhood friends who went to the same what was it? Swimming establishment or whatever. They were on the same swim team and when they were young, and they won, but then there was some conflict, some tension between Haruka and Rin, and so Rin moved to Australia to a swimming school because his dream was to be an Olympic swimmer. And then the story accelerates to the modern time, where they're in high school. Haruka, Makoto, and Nagisa and Rin are all second years in high school. They finally meet up together. But Rin goes to a different school. He goes to a swimming school. Haruka, Makoto, and Nagisa go to a standard school that lost its swim club, the Iwatobi Swim Club, and their dream is to set it up back up, with Nagisa pulling the strings, and Rin's sister, who goes to the same school as Haruka, Makoto, and Nagisa. Her name's Go, or as she likes to be referred to as Ko, and she has a boyish name, and all the boys have girlish names. Very interesting. And then there's their advisor, who's a very interesting woman herself, who was a very, very interesting cover. Watch it. But it's a very wonderful story in my opinion. It's shonen ai, whatever, but I really, it's all about sports. Nothing else, just really all about sports and their connection, their friendship, and I love their connection because Makoto, he's a scaredy cat, and Haruka, let's see here, if you have like 5 gallons of water in a pool, he's gonna jump in it. He's gonna strip. He wears a swimsuit underneath his clothes, like all the time. I'm pretty sure there hasn't been an episode where he hasn't. And it's very, it's funny. It's a slice of life. It's just there. I really enjoy it. It's a wonderful anime, and if you like slice of life, sports, it might be a little bit cheesy, but it's fun. And if you like swimming, check it out. It's good. How about you, Wolf?
Well, I enjoyed it. I mean,
you didn't finish it.
Well, still found it amusing when I watched it.
Which episode was the most humorous? I think I remember the scene for the funniest scene with the teacher, though. No, there were 2 scenes. One where she's a yandere. And the scene where she's on a cover. You never got to that scene. It's hilarious. It's so hilarious. She talks about why she doesn't. She used to do fashion for swimsuits, and then you find out what type of fashion she was into.
Okay, so
now we'll talk about the most interesting event of the week.
So I went to the Portland Art Museum. They're displaying lots of things about samurai.
The exhibit is called Samurai.
Yeah. Okay, so, well, when we got there were a whole bunch of armors, displays, whole bunch. It just talked about famous samurais. They showed some calligraphy, I think. Oh, could have been, I don't know. And a whole bunch of art, weapons. Oh my gosh, there's this spear kind of sword thing. It looked like could cut your head off.
I think that's what it's made for.
Probably, or stabbing horses. There was some horse.
But that's animal abuse.
And there were like so many different types of helmets, banners, stuff like that. There are a couple swords. Oh, there's so much to read in there.
It sucks because I didn't go.
Yeah.
We ran out of seats in the car, so I had to stay.
And if you're living around the Portland area?
Portland metropolitan area.
Yeah, then check
in
it
Oregon.
out.
Portland, Oregon. Not Maine.
Then go
you
check
can
it
get
out.
Lobsters there.
It was really fun. So,
so the discussion of the week is
coincidentally samurai. Freaking samurai.
Yeah. They were pretty cool. You see, they're like these. They were like the knights of Japan, except they hardly ever use shields, and their what was their armor? Was it actually steel? I think it was steel.
Some of it was leather, I do believe.
But then
some actually had some gold on it.
Well, no duh. Those are gonna be like the commanders and stuff. Oh no, I'm a foot soldier. I get bling, bling, bling.
Well, some of the higher people got just more heavier armor, I think.
Oh, they had iron and bronze. But then it's so decorative. It's so cool. You just look at samurai armor. Well, you don't want to look at the samurai with the what's the mask thing? You know Japanese stuff. That mask thing.
I don't remember.
Well, with the mask thing at night, you'd be pissing your pants. But samurai are, my view is very biased and probably incorrect because I watch Samurai Champloo. They just, if you disrespected them, they could kill you. And then samurai were loyal to their feudal masters. They were all about honor. Most of them were about honor and stuff and holding the code. You just don't do that stuff. You don't do bad stuff. You kill bad people.
Sometimes samurai are seen with katana. Well, most of the time they're seen with katanas, but that's not the only thing they use. They also use
that spear thing.
Yeah, they also use bows and other weapons.
They don't use flails, do they?
No.
Like Japanese flails.
Japanese.
Do samurai hunt ninjas? Are ninjas like the bandits or something?
No, they're ninjas are they do infiltration, to believe.
But who would you think would win, samurai or ninjas? Yeah, right. It depends on the skill level. But during the shogunate, right? Is that how you pronounce it? Tokugawa shogunate. They just kind of faded. They came under the rule of the shogun rather than their masters. And so the daimyo, well, their lords, which are the daimyo, and they just became like goons. Like real samurai were still there, but then there were these like mercenary samurai, and they kind of took over. Mm-hmm. They had no honor and stuff. They were just, yeah. And then there are those ronin, right? Ronin, or masterless samurai, who wander.
What's not a master?
Oh, that's the point of the masterless part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they are just cool and stuff. And then they faded, and faded even more. So, next we have one thing we would like to happen by next week. So, one thing I'd like to happen by next week would be Rocking Out with the Pillows, a Japanese rock band that's like 40, no, not 40 years old, like 30 years old. No, 20.
Oh, I don't know why you're asking me. I mean,
I love the Pillows. I listened to them from FLCL or Fooly Cooley, and that was awesome. Right on Shooting Star. How about you, Wolf?
I want bacon. Bacon comes from pigs.
No, comes from the heavens.
Comes
Flying
from
pigs. Comes from flying pigs.
Anyways, I haven't had bacon in a long time. It's delicious.
It's been like 2 weeks.
Quiet, you.
You can never have enough bacon.
You have to always have bacon once a week.
You get diabetes.
No, I'm just gonna plump up.
Okay, moving on. So our quotes of the week. So my quote of the week is, No one decides man's fate like man's fate itself. Seemingly redundant.
Okay, and my quote, if a day is fun, why can't we have it every day? And this...
And then, that's it for the show. This has been Sun Yang
and Wolf Stevens.
And as always, have a nice day.